So you ended up doing what, like 11 months in the county?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so what was that like? I mean, here you are going to this top high school to suddenly being in jail in Philly.
Yeah, well, I left I've been had damaged my academic career, but my relationship with Black Key, he had a relationship with Hip out of Yonkers. Hip is a long life friend of DMX. Black Key landed 2 big singles on the Great Depression album for DMX. He ended up producing Who We Be and We Right Here. Those 2 singles catapulted the album to go platinum. So he was in good graces with the label, Lear Cohen, DMX, Def Jam at the time. So he had some kind of leverage. So the plan was to shop my demo. It would be easy since he was a platinum selling producer. It would be easy for him to, kind of lobby in some of these labels and kind of get me a record deal. But nobody would kind of like bite on it. I was moonlighting with Miss Jade because she was signed to Beat Club. She's from Philly also. And then DMX, my relationship with Key and relationship with Hips, I was kind of like trying to, working with X to see if we could work out something with his Bloodline imprint at the time.
Well, you get out of jail, and are you on bond or, well, I guess parole? Or
I'm on probation, parole. It's parole/probation. And I had 3 years to walk
parole,
off.
probation.
Yeah.
But you stopped checking in at one point.
Yeah, yup.
Why?
Back then it was kind of real strict. You had to maintain a job. I was still getting high at the time on marijuana. They was real strict about that. So I gave up a couple hot urines where I was in jeopardy of going back to prison. So out of fear for that, I just stopped checking in.
Okay, so that means the point you stopped checking in, you're now wanted by the police?
Yeah, correct.
And there's a warrant out for your arrest?
Correct.
So are you actually ducking the police? Is it, a couple close calls or not really?
Well, the whole time you gotta survive. So if you're not hustling and you're not working, how you gonna survive to take care of yourself? You could be on the run all you want. Still gotta wash your ass, still gotta wash your clothes, you still gotta find somewhere to lay your head. So that was kind of like my main focus at the time. And I just was from house to house, friend to friend, female to female friend, like shit like that, just kind of winging it until I kind of figured out what I was gonna do.
Yeah, it's just a horrible way of living.
I know.
Yeah.
But guess what blessing was around the corner though?
Right, because Making the Band Season 2, we're having auditions, and 40,000 people applied.
For sure.
How did you find out about it?
A friend at my facility, he told me that he heard over the radio. Well, actually, this is how the story goes. By me befriending Miss Jade, she went up 103.9 to debut one of her singles at the time, which was Ching 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 with Nelly Furtado. So I was a tag along. I had opportunity to freestyle live on the air. The program director, Jake Black, took a liking to me. We exchanged contacts, and the relationship was kind of like made right there. So when Making the Band competition came to Philly, they actually did the competition with that chosen radio station. So as soon as, the call came down, I got the call to come audition for it.
Okay, like when you showed up, how many people were there?
Too many to count. It was wrapped around the corner. Like it was like a snake line around the corner, as you would say.
Okay, so what was the audition like exactly?
It was just a lot of people, and you wasn't getting a lot of time to perform or whatever. Maybe got 10 to 20 seconds until they cut you off. They ask you where you from, what's your name, state your name, where you from. They throw in a beat. You had like 4 beats to pick from. They was all bad boy beats, and you rap. And then whether they liked you, what they heard, or they didn't, that's how much time you had. Some people had 10 to 20 seconds. Some people had 5 seconds. Some people had 15 seconds. It all depends on what kind of energy you was coming with.
Okay, so there were 2 auditions in Philly?
One initial, and I didn't make it. And then on the show, they had got everybody and didn't feel as though they had enough talent to continue with the competition. And then they did it again. And then that's when I got in through the second time.
Okay, and then there was a 3rd audition in front of Diddy.
Yeah, yup. And I fell off the stage into a bunch of equipment.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the anxiety. I got the call. I was in Renton. One of my cousins had just bought an apartment out there. We was out there celebrating. turning up. I got the call. Mind you, Redden is like almost an hour and a half, maybe 2.5 hours out away from New York. So I got the call at 11 to be there at 1. I sat around for another 3 hours contemplating, should I go? I left from Redden to be at New York at 2. So when I got there, it was well past the time that I should have been there. So just using my intuition, I walked past the long line and just knocked on the door at West 42nd Street. And then by the grace of God, my name was called next. So I went straight from the street to in the line next to audition live for Sean Puffy Combs.
Okay. And that audition, was that longer?
That was like 20 seconds.
Huh.
After I fell and they made sure I was all right, I continued with my little audition, and I went back to the green room mad as fuck that I thought I had blew it, falling into a bunch of equipment for the first time they laid eyes on me. It was just like, why would this fucking happen? And Diddy made me sweat it out. So when he picked the people to continue on competition for the boot camp era of the competition, he called me like 30th. But the whole time, he had me at the top seed the whole time. That's the little game they play with you. They like make you think they don't want you or not interested, and you sweat it out and think they're not really interested. So he called me. He called a lot of people that was way less talented than me, but like, kind of like as a lesson, nigga, you can't be coming up here and falling on stage if you're gonna be the spearhead of my group. So he called me last.
Okay. How'd you feel when you finally got the news that you got it?
I mean, about time. I was 24 going on 25. I just made the competition by my age. There's a certain age where you cap out, where they really don't even want you. I think Sarah was the oldest and I was the next oldest. So 18 to 24. I turned 25 that November of 2022. So I just made it by the skin of my teeth, maybe about a month and some change.